Welcome, everyone. My name is Will Bouma. I am the Member of Provincial Parliament for Brantford, Brant, and I would like to welcome everyone here today to what will be a very special announcement that has been many, many years in the making. Rita Marie, when was the first time that I came here, like 7 years ago?
When did you get elected?
And something that, yeah, it goes by. And absolutely wonderful. I want to stop and say hi to everyone in a second, but we'll have time for that afterwards. But I'd also like to thank our federal colleagues, MP Larry Brock and MP Dan Muse, and then fellow MPPs Ernie Haldimand, Mike Harris Jr., and I think that's it. And then Chief of Six Nations Sherry Lynn Hill. I have to say hi to you, yeah. And Mayor Davis, thank you for being here. And Mayor Bailey can't. I know there's council members here too. And of course, the Brantford CAO, Brian Hutchings from the City of Brantford, CAO from the County of Brant, Allison Newton hiding in the back. It's okay, I can do this. Yeah, but when you've been working on something for so long and you have such incredible advocates, this is really good. Lansdowne Children's Center not only serves families in Brantford and Brant and Six Nations, but also in neighboring jurisdictions where you are all from. And it's incredible to see all the support from my colleagues, both federally and provincially. A huge welcome to everyone and to the community business leaders that are here too. I really appreciate you coming out and having a tour. From the small business entrepreneurs to the largest employers here today, you represent companies that are the bedrock of our community. And so many of your employees make use of the services that are provided here at Lansdowne Children's Center. And so before I hand the podium over to my friend and caucus colleague, the Honourable Michael Parsa, Ontario's Minister of Children and Community and Social Services, I would like to personally and publicly thank you for always answering my phone calls, of which there have been many. Yes. I didn't get a Christmas card from Michael this year. I know I did. You always answer my texts, and for accepting Rita Marie's invitation to tour this building last year, because that's why we're here today. You always listen, and you have such a depth of understanding of the needs of our community at Queen's Park, and I want to thank you for that. And since our days together in the Ministry of Finance, you have proven to be reliable, gracious, and a great MPP, parliamentary assistant, and now Minister of the Crown. And more than all that, you're my friend. So thank you. And to your staff that's here with us, welcome to Brantford Brant. An announcement like today would not happen if it wasn't for community leaders, both in the front lines and working quietly behind the scenes. Rita Marie Hadley and the board of Lansdowne Children's Center, good to see you, John, and everyone else here from the board, have been instrumental in making today happen. Children and families in Brantford Brant are so fortunate to have you, Rita Marie, and our community wouldn't be what it is without you. And well done. So sorry, that's now, without further delay, I would like to call upon the Honourable Michael Parsa, Ontario's Minister of Children, Community and Social Services, to make an announcement that we have all been waiting for. Sir.
Well, thanks very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank my colleague Will Bouma for that very kind introduction. It's great to be here in Brantford again with so many kind and caring people. And of course, hometown of the great one, Wayne Gretzky. It's always nice to be back here. And some of my colleagues that are here from all levels of government, from federal, municipalities, and of course, besides MPP Will Bouma, we've got MPP Mike Harris here and one of my mentors, MPP Ernie Haldimand, that is here as well, who's taught me so much over the years that I've spent time at Queen's Park. And I can't thank the MPP, the local MPP here for Brantford Brant, Will Bouma, enough. And that today's announcement is all about unity and partnership, and that's what we're all gathered. But a strong local representative and a very persistent one makes a huge difference as well. And of course, I want to let me just start off by thanking Rita Marie and the entire team here at Lansdowne Children's Center for hosting all of us here today. I'd like to acknowledge the meaningful work that all of you, the staff, every single one of you at Lansdowne does to support children and youth with special needs, as well as their families. I witnessed it on a tour that my colleague Will Bouma alluded to earlier when I had an opportunity to visit Lansdowne here a few months ago. Our government's putting children and youth first to ensure that they receive the care they need when they need it. We're working to improve services for children and youth with special needs as well as their families. And I'm here to tell you that we are building a new children's treatment center right here in Brant. Our government is beginning planning work to build a new modern facility for Lansdowne Children's Center that will improve access to services for children and youth with special needs and their families in southwestern Ontario. A larger, more modern facility will connect children, youth, and their families with a range of specialized services and supports in a safe and accessible space. A new Lansdowne Children's Center will expand support beyond the current 3,500 children and youth being served in Brantford and surrounding areas, providing them with better access to the services that they need. Those services and supports include speech-language pathology, occupational therapy, physiotherapy, autism services, audiology, respite services, services for children and youth with multiple and or complex special needs, and services for children and youth with fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. The new facility will also help address growing needs in southwestern Ontario, including the Six Nations of the Grand River and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nations. And I want to thank the Chief as well for joining us here for this very important announcement. Now, when children and youth and their families can access the services they need, their short and long-term outcomes improve, as does their parents' well-being. That's good for Ontario's children and youth, their families, and their communities. And I'm grateful for our strong partnership with Lansdowne's Children's Center and every other children's treatment center across our great province. Together, we will help our children and youth grow into thriving adults in communities in every single community across the province. And I wish you all the very best, and I cannot wait to see the results very soon. Thanks again very much for having me and for welcoming me. I now would like to call on Rita Marie Hadley, Executive Director of Lansdowne Children's Center, to share a few words. And I personally want to thank her for everything that she has done to make today a reality. Thank you.
I can't say thank you enough. I start with thank you to you, Minister Parsa, to you, Will, as our Member of Provincial Parliament, and to all of the people in this room who have played a role in getting us to where we are today. For over 50 years, as of this year, Lansdowne, incorporated in 1974, has been serving kids who live with some challenges, but most importantly have such great potential. And we all know people in our lives who just need that leg up, who need the opportunity. And we're so blessed to have 250 pediatric professionals that work at Lansdowne Children's Center and can make that difference every day. Today's announcement gives us the tools to be able to promise the next generations and the current families who rely upon us and our dedicated staff that the acknowledgement, this public commitment from the provincial government that we are moving ahead. And we know we wouldn't have gotten to this day if it were not for the advocacy, but also the evidence that we've been effective. For municipal partners who have helped us to find ways to move ahead and to help us keep the faith that we have an opportunity, we say thank you very much. We know that we have work ahead of us, and the kids who come here have a lot of work that they have to do. And if they can do it, we can do it. The 25 years that we've lived in this building, in itself, it's been an honor to be part of the history of this community. This was the Jane Laycock School. It was it was no longer needed for that purpose, but we brought new life to it. We rehabilitated it and served our community for 25 years, and moving here has been a way of being at the heart of our history, with Jane Laycock having been Jane Cockshut, and our history historically with the manufacturing here. We know that we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us. The windows of opportunity for our kids to develop are ones we don't take lightly. We don't want kids to wait any more than they are already waiting, because we know what anxiety we feel when we want the best for our children and we can't see the next steps. So the ideal of having the excellent staff here, the dedicated governors, and such a supporting community really makes this a success story, and one that we know will make our families feel valued, and that there's an investment here in their kids. With the right kinds of flexible spaces, it will equip us to accommodate the population growth that occurred during the pandemic, and through planful approaches by our municipal leaders already has so many people from other parts of the province and the world calling this home. And we welcome that diversity, and we want to be able to welcome them with the proper standards of services, which we know that our new building will allow us to continue to operate, in addition to the other sites where Lansdowne provides services throughout our catchment area. So future families who are served with us will find this to be their Lansdowne, and we also say to our community supporters, our partners in services, and our other staff who aren't in the room, we can't do this without you. The cliche of it takes a village to raise a child really is the truth. We work in transdisciplinary teams, we work in partnership with education partners, and we certainly are partners with our government in delivering government services, and in also raising the bar to make sure that our kids are our priority. We need an inclusive community, and so to the extent that we are blessed with members of the public and the private sector represented in this room and beyond, that is what a family looks for, that inclusion around vested interest in their child. Not everyone in this room has a child needing Lansdowne services, but here you are. So we say thank you. We value this investment, and we will continue engaging our families in planning, and look forward to keeping you updated as we start on this next part of the journey. Thank you very much for being here and for sharing in our optimism this very, very special day.
Well, I guess I'll just end with this. If there are no other questions, I think I tell you, just minutes after I got appointed to this role about 9 months ago, when my colleague MPP Will Bouma sent me a text message to congratulate me, he followed up with, "We have to talk about a particular project in my riding," and congratulations. Thank you.